Happy Tuesday, Dream Chasers. It is our final Dream Team chat of April, which is wild. It literally feels like it was just Christmas like 2 days ago, and now here we are. It is about to be May, which is crazy. I feel like it's almost going to be Christmas again. We are moving through the year, and honestly, this year has been a hodgepodge of like change, excitement, creativity, fear, doubt, like all bundled up into like where we are right now. And I feel like right now is this explosion of creative energy, hope as the theme at Breeze SSD Summit was, excitement, like growth, like it really very much feels like a tending to your garden type season. And so we have found through this that we are behind the mark a little bit as far as social selling, working our business on free platforms. I feel like we spent a lot of time honing into our customer groups and like our closed networks. And let me say, I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't think that should ever go away. I think like that is actually your hot leads. Those are the people who are actually in your business. And that is what deserves a lot of your time, attention, and love. And also, we are in a season of needing to expand and grow and find new customers with the free resources that are available to us. So, things like Instagram, Facebook Reels, TikTok, all of these are free platforms that we can use to build our network, build our audience, increase our influence with people. And we've really been talking about this for like 5 weeks now. Okay. This is the fifth week. And this week, we're really wanting to dive into influencing you guys as content creators, as business owners, to take it up a notch and to step into a season of being an influencer and what that looks like. Okay. And when I say influencer, I don't mean hundreds of thousands of followers. I just mean a community of people that you're building and growing. Okay. A community that you have put thought and intention into, and with the goal to grow it, right? And we've talked about over the last 4 weeks like what that growth looks like. It isn't always converting into sales right away. You aren't always going to get hundreds of followers by posting a video, right? This is a slow and steady relationship business. That will never change about Scentsy, is that we are very much a relationship business. It's what sets us apart. It's what makes us successful. But to be able to leverage our business, we need to branch out and we need to leverage the free social media platforms out there. So today, our topic is influencing you guys as the influencer to be confident in that, to be confident that you have information and personality and character that people are going to want to follow. They want to get to know more. They want to learn about, right? Just as you are influenced as you're watching videos online and you find people that you vibe with and you find content that resonates with you, you also have the opportunity to create that type of content. Okay. And it's powerful. Video marketing is so powerful. It is so much more real than pictures. It really gets all types of emotions across more than any text could. And it works. Like, quite simply, it works. And they're just like our business, there's a million ways to make it work for you. And so we wanted to give you some tips that we are finding along our journey to make it easier for us to step into this creative freedom, this creative space, and align it with things that fit our personality, the things that make us excited, the things that have us wanting to keep showing up. And then also, you'll find by doing this, you're also creating a community who's engaging back with you, creating connections like that. And then that also will make you want to continue showing up and building your brand and building your influence and building your network and your platform, to be you bundled up into a beautiful little profile, that people can then fall in love with and get to know you and see what you have to say and what you have to offer and what you have to share and give. And so that's what tonight is about. We're breaking it down into 5 little tips. If you want to get a notepad and a pen and take some notes, some of this is going to be like covering what we've already talked about in the weeks past, but I think with a different twist and angle that I think that you guys will be that you guys will find helpful. Tonight's goal is to help you brainstorm your influencing strategy, your content creation strategy, in a way that, again, is going to align with who you are. Okay. So, our first tip, this is tip number 1 of 5, is going to be finding your content pillars. Okay. We talked about this a little bit last week. Okay. Your content pillars are what makes you you. Okay. So think about your life and ask yourself, what are 3 to 4 things that I can use as a big overarching topic for my life, for my content, for my social media, right? So I'll give you some examples. For me, some of my content pillars are single mom. Okay. I have lifestyle, single mom stuff, health, my health journey. Okay. I'm sharing things that are aligning with my health journey. And then also fragrance. Okay, this is my business. This is, what I'm here for. Fragrance, single mom, health journey, fragrance. Those are my 3 content pillars. For Bree, hers would look like healing. She's doing a lot of healing content, sharing her heart, country music, and fragrance. Okay, see how these things, they are umbrellas that then other things can fit into, but we have to understand where are we starting? Where do we start? Okay. Fragrance can be one of your content pillars for all of you guys. Okay. Um, if you want your social media to be mostly to grow your Scentsy business, then I would recommend putting fragrance as one of your content pillars. Okay. And again, then in my next step, we'll go deeper there, but that's a great overarching content pillar. But what else? What else in your life? Are you you have so many pictures and videos of your dog, you love dog content, dog mom type thing, that can be a content pillar for you. Okay. Are you a teacher, right? Teacher life, teacher hacks, helpful hacks, right? Think about who you are, what you love doing, what you love talking about, what fires you up. Those should be your content pillars. Okay. Think about your life as a lifestyle blog. Okay. Going back to VIP group days, think of your life as a lifestyle blog. What are you writing about? What is your life about? What makes you happy? What do you have experience with? Okay. These are your content pillars. You need to find these. Okay. And these can change over time. They can slowly shift and adjust over time as you grow and evolve. And that's totally fine and normal. Or you can ride with it, you can add on to it, right? But these are just a great pillar for you to know when I am stuck, I'm going back to these pillars. Okay. So step number 1, find those content pillars. Okay. And then step number 2, right under that, is to find the sub pillars in your life. Okay. Again, these are just deeper things that make you you. So for me, it's, certain products that I love, or, my dog that's a senior dog, or fun moments on my trampoline, right? Things that deepen your connection. For Bree, that looks like, her love for books, sharing her church notes, things like this, things that fit under an overarching content pillar, but then you can plug things in your sub pillars to kind of fill in the gaps there. Okay. This is where you deepen the connection. This is where you build your brand. This is where you build trust. This is where people start asking questions. This is where people start engaging back with you. This is where people can really start to relate with you. Okay. You're going to find, Bree's going to find, her country music lovers, her vibe of people. Okay. And then she's going to post a reel with a book series that she loves, and it's going to hit, double down on those types of people, thickening her vibe of people, right? Because she already found people off of her main content pillars, and then it's going deeper with these sub pillars, right? This also gives you more idea of what types of content you can be posting. Okay. So get your main ideas, your main content pillars, find your sub pillars that fit into it. And you guys, get a pen and paper and draw it out if you have to. Get on with ChatGPT and brainstorm it out with them. Okay. Tell them, hey, I'm trying to build some content pillars with some sub pillars under it. Can you help me? And let it ask you questions. Okay. this is really important to help you identify, okay, where am I going with my content? Okay. Yeah, and I was just doing two. I thought I was about to go into step three. So Bree is on with the next tips
Yeah.
for you.
Yep. So she kind of stepped into it a little bit. The third tip is going to be getting a pool of content ideas that fit into the pillars that Alex was talking about. So as you're thinking about, as you're deciding which pillars you want to go with for your social media, you're going to want to be inspired. The best way to be inspired is to go and just browse, right? And this sounds like such the opposite of what we've been telling people to do as far as like fluff or the doom scroll, but this is actually really great. This is a really great use of your time because it's going to benefit you in the long run to have a strong sense of where you want your social media to take you and who you want to be a part of your influence, right? So, yeah, like she said, we're already scrolling, so you might as well make it useful. And so this looks like going into your For You page, like specifically on Instagram, going onto your For You page and just taking a look at what's there, what reels are there, specifically reels. I like to look at reels. I also like to just go to the reel tab on my Instagram and just browse there. And then I'll like screenshot ideas that I like. And I have a folder in my photos album that is content ideas. And so I'll save it there and then I can go back to it later. Or I'll save the reel so I can save the audio or whatever. But I find things that fit into the pillars and I get inspired by that. And then I recreate it. Okay. Or I redo it or revamp it or whatever. But you're going to want to, especially if you're new to this, especially if you're like, all right, I'm starting from ground zero. What are my pillars going to be? Okay, now what does that look like me actually executing it? You are not the only one who has a French bulldog. You're not the only one who works a full-time job. You're not the only one who's a teacher. You're not the only one, right? So there is plenty of content. And if you want to curate your For You page, both on Instagram and TikTok for sure, it's going to help you to search for those things, right? And to spend time watching videos. That's how the algorithm works on there. I can tell you firsthand. I've watched a couple videos way too long, and now my For You page thinks that's all I want to see. So I promise you, it is as simple as just searching it up and watching videos and spending time there. And then your For You page is going to show you that stuff. And so spend time there. Also, like Alex mentioned, ChatGPT can really be your best friend here. And one of the things at Summit that is not NDA that was talked about a lot was the power of ChatGPT and the power of all these AI things that are out there, because ChatGPT is not the only one. There are other AI programs that you can use that are incredibly advanced. And we're looking at a whole new realm of doing business. And it's something that you're going to want to get comfortable with now because the changes that are coming. No, I'm not talking about specifically Sensi. I'm just saying the world, business, how we function, what we're doing. It will benefit you. And I have pushed back on the Chat GPT for a while now. But now I'm starting to get into it and I appreciate the value that it adds and the guesswork that it takes out of the creative energy I have to spend trying to think of something, do something, write something. It really does help. So, anyways, get comfortable with Chat GPT or any other AI function. Do not use it as a crutch, but do utilize it for the value. And this is a really great way is to go there and ask it for ideas, because if you say I want to create a reel um, that includes this pillar, that includes my love for my dogs, or that includes this, it is going to give you example after example after example. Like it will just keep feeding them to you. And so there is no shortage of ideas there. And so utilize the resources that you have, you guys. And any other place that you can think of, Pinterest might be a really great place for it. I know that I've searched on there for content ideas and it will give you like a whole list of them, take you to another site. Like free resources are out there. Okay. Um, Tip number 4. This is what I have definitely discovered is the best way to go about putting yourself out there and trying to create a well-rounded brand and be an influencer, whatever that looks like. And don't let that word scare you, okay? And don't let whatever negative connotation comes with influencer derail you from doing this, because it's not about influencing the masses, right? It's about having a valuable impact, sharing what you love, right? And we're encouraging you to be a well-rounded person in terms of not just Scentsy, right? I'm moving away from that. Alex is moving away from that, and it is so far removed from what we were doing 5 years ago. But the reality of it is that just is the way that it is right now. And so my focus is, I'm realizing Reels gets me the most views and eyes, especially for non-followers on I'm talking about specifically Instagram. But also carousels, which are like pictures that, how would you describe that? It's like pictures with text, and it's like multiple pictures, and they kind of like feed into each other. And so it's like it feels like one continuous post, right? It kind of feels like a reel, but it's in pictures. If you search carousel on TikTok or Instagram, you will see what I mean. But the idea of number four, the tip is to mix it up, to use a combination of that, short reels, voiceovers, lip syncing, long reels, long captions, short captions, all of the things. Mix it up. And especially in the beginning, throw it all out there. Have some kind of schedule that fits you or whatever, but throw it all out there so you can test what's working for you and what's working for your audience. And just be flexible in knowing that sometimes it's going to change, right? Reels might be really popping right now, and then in 2 months it might go back to being pictures, or your carousels might do really well. So just know that you're going to have to be flexible and fluid with it, because social media is constantly changing. But the reality of it is that mixing it up again just solidifies that you're well rounded, and that one, you have things to say and you're not just like out here creating wild videos. And it provides content for people who may not be into reels, right? There may be people who would much prefer to see a picture and a caption, or who like the idea of the carousels where they can just continue to swipe and see a full story come to life. Like, there is content for everybody, and the more that you expand your toolbox, the better you're going to have at the results, right? And so then number five is my favorite that I am learning to do, is this idea of B-rolls and taking lots of pictures. So B-rolls is just this idea of going around and kind of taking short videos of kind of everything, right? Anything that fits into these pillars, anything that you're like, wow, this is a really beautiful moment. Like I was walking around Summit taking just like short videos of like the flowers outside of home office, and like short videos of us sitting down talking to Heidi and Orville, or of the room around me, because it makes for really great B-roll when you have something to say. And the video doesn't really matter. It's actually the content of the context that you're putting out there. But even just a short video, B-roll, behind the scenes, whatever, is just another tie-in to your brand, another tie-in to who you are. And so don't go like willy-nilly, but like have some purpose behind it, but also it doesn't have to fit into every little crevice of what you're trying to say. And so the B-roll and taking pictures is like crazy. Like, there is so much value in it. And so if you do that and then you like save them to a certain photo album or whatever, so that you have them, and especially when you're not feeling creative, it's going to help for you to take 5 minutes to scroll your For You page, and then to bust out a B-roll video that you took last week. Like, you could literally be done in less than 10 minutes putting together something that could take off, or that is falling into that influencer category, right? Um, so Alex told me today, I didn't know that it was called this, but there's this term called evergreen content. And it's this idea that the certain types of content that you put out there is going to fit into these pillars. But then there's this evergreen content that kind of just lives forever, that it stays true, stands the test of time, that people can come back to and go, I relate to that. that's still true today or whatever, right? You may not feel that way, but it's content that most of the time I would say is kind of more of a personal thing, but it's also like I'm posting this for me, but it's relatable for other people. And anytime or anybody can come and see this and it will resonate, right? So Alex has a couple of reels like that. I have a couple of reels like that. But keep that in the back of your mind when you're creating content, that it's not just about posting the here and now and this is what's on sale or this is the face cream that I'm using, like all of that content is good and it's valuable and it has its place, but make sure that part of your well-rounded content includes things that are a little bit more personal and that are for you, right? You're putting it out there for you. Um, for instance, here's a good example. Emma posted a video on TikTok of her and her friend sitting in a pantry, I think, and just like talking. And it was like, and drinking wine. And it was like the cutest video ever. But the reality of it is that that's an evergreen content, right? She had like a cute little caption and it was her and her friend just talking and just a really like pretty short video. But the evergreen content there is that everybody, no matter what season they're in, can relate to that. Either they want that kind of friendship, right? Where you're just like hiding from the rest of the world, sitting in a pantry with your bestie talking, or they're in that season where they have that and it feels good, right? And so simple things like that. So just be mindful of that and be looking for those opportunities in your daily life, in your journey through something hard, in something that maybe God's teaching you or that you're learning a lesson from. Like, don't be afraid to share that. And also, don't be afraid to open your heart to sharing it without divulging all the details, right? You don't have to name names, you don't have to go and tell the story, you don't have to give context where context isn't needed. You can be so incredibly vague because it's your social media, right? It's not there for the rest of the world to know, but share the lesson. Tell people about what you're learning. Tell people what you've healed from. Again, however vague or open you want to be. Um, but there's a lot of power in that, right? Because somebody needs to hear it. And that's the kind of content that will last forever.